Hello, welcome. The last little video I did, we had just joined this group, and you can see there's been some big changes. We've got walls all the way around, blacksmith shop, kiln, bloomery. Um, Also, you can see a lot more trees we've planted in the area. These are high quality trees, and it is winter, and it is a rare sunny day. That's why I decided. I know the last time I filmed, it was raining cats and dogs, even though it does rain harder than you see in that video. At times, it depends on the weather. You can see the sun is shining, even though there's snow on the ground. It's a fairly pleasant day. I've happened to be wearing a light armor because I'm going out hunting with my longbow and arrows. But I just thought I would show you the changes. You can see that I don't have anything planted on my farm right now because in the winter, your growth, your yields are smaller. I've been told, and there's another fellow with me who plants this big farm over here who said he's gotten smaller growth also, particularly when the snow is on the ground. So we'll have to wait. You can see in game it's 14 December, and it does follow a chronological calendar. You know, winter is the normal month, summer is the normal month, so forth and so on. You can see some smoke rising there in the distance, or vapor fumes, because those are tanning tubs, and I've got some. They're used to put flax in, which is a gateway item to making more stuff via crafting. And you also put hides in them, also for leather crafting. And I've got some stuff in them right now cooking. They take 1 hour of real time. This right here is a plow. The fella uses that to plow that field right there when he has stuff planted. You can see we put in all those logs laying over there. I've chopped down all the low quality trees and planted higher quality apple trees. Each tree yields about 15 apples, and when they're high quality, you use them to feed animals, or you can eat them yourself. This section here is new, wasn't here the last video I filmed. This is another blacksmith area, bloomery, and a kiln, and the original forge and anvil the fella had here. Of course, this was already here, but the biggest change, I suppose, over here is just I don't know if the lamp post was in the last video, but basically you can turn the lamps on and off. Obviously they work better at night. But just some landscaping there with 6 rows of 6 for 36 trees. And it's nice. The apple tree is a softwood tree. There are different, as I said, there's 9 different types of trees. You have hardwood trees and softwood trees, and each one requires something. Let's say you're going to build, like I recently just forged, not more than 30 minutes ago, forged a new shovel because the durability on my old shovel was going bad, and it required handles. Well, you make the handles from softwood, meaning an apple tree, not an oak tree, for example, because oak is hardwood. It was very, very entertaining. In fact, this is the softwood log I used right here to make my new shovel. And we did put on this side, we put in what's called a gatehouse as opposed to just a gate. It allows archers to stand on here and target enemy who may be attacking. It's pretty good. You got trader carts in this game. As you can see, these carts right here, they carry everything. This is medieval, so the weight is stones. Everything weighs X amount of stones. These trader carts can hold 1,200 stone of items, and they're very slow to move, as you would expect. But this is the new blacksmith area I just built last night. Another trader cart. You can see the trader cart is holding some various. Actually, I need to put these iron bars back in there. Iron bars. You take the ore, you put it in, you smelt it to either iron bars or iron ingots or iron, lumps of iron. And of course, you can make nails and various shovels. There's a shovel I just made, shovels and things like that. Have a little barrel. Barrels are useful. They're considered a furniture item, but they're very used for storing stuff. This one we're using to store charcoal. The bloomery is where you can recycle things. The kiln is for what we use to make charcoal. You put hardwood billets. Now this is a softwood log, but this is a hardwood log. You can see they physically look different. And you saw billets. You see the select saw a billet. And this kiln will hold 200 billets. You set it on fire, let it slow burn, and it makes charcoal. And then once the charcoal's done, we just move it over here to this barrel and keep this constantly full of charcoal. It's the game mechanics are pretty good, despite this being a game that was just made to make money, to make the MMO. Now, another aspect of this I like is farming that I didn't talk about anything in depth last time, just gave you a brief overview of what I was doing. But my little farm area is 30 tiles. All right, it's 6 by 5. And you can get a look at the tiles by right-clicking the ground and Artisan Observe. You can see they're 5 across and 6 up for a total of 30. Now, obviously, red is places you cannot build. This is my target. You can fire at this target and it improves your skill as you use the bow or the crossbow. In this coop, we have chickens. Now right now it's a very small amount of chickens because we had some die off. And when they die off, their quality is lowered. So I slaughtered a bunch of chickens and kept some higher quality ones, and we slowly raised the quality of these animals back up by providing them with high quality food. In this case, quality 96 apples. And as they eat that food, their quality will slowly raise, which means they in turn give you better feathers, which are used in making arrows, and meat, and bones, and so forth and so on. And the hair is the same thing. Giving them quality 96 apples, slaughtered a bunch of them off. But when they're higher quality, you use the hair for the same thing, bones, meat, and fur. And fur is what makes leather, such as this leather outfit that I'm wearing right here. Although in this case it did not come from rabbits. This is a thick hide leather outfit, which came from larger animals like moose, deer, wolves, that type of thing, cow. I've got my little house here. I've got some barrels stacked up around it, and I keep food for the animals in there, and seeds for planting. Over here, I don't recall if I showed you this, but this is a small stable, and we currently have 2 bulls and 2 cows, and of course you feed them straw. They will reproduce. Now, interesting about this is there's a button. See this button here on the side? It looks like 2 sheep engaged in sex. You click on the button, and you get 2 blank slots here. And you can choose, for example, sort this by quality. And let's say I want this bull, you would just drag that bull down here, and he's already there to mate with this cow. So that's a 97 quality bull mating with a 90 quality cow. Then you would just drag them in there. Now, those 2 particular animals are already there because I did that earlier. But those are the 2 that will mate and hopefully get high quality animals out of them. It's all about trying to get high quality. This is the barn. That was a stable, the one I showed before, and this has sheep and pigs in it. Now, a ram, of course, is a male sheep, and a sheep is just a female sheep instead of a ewe in this game. And the boar is the male pig, and the pig is a female pig. And again, feeding them high-quality apples, and you can select who you want to mate. For example, I've only got 1 ram left in here. The other one you can see here on 18 July, a ram died of poor hygiene. Well, I need another ram, so I've got the ram and a sheep, the highest quality sheep, mating, and hopefully they'll produce a ram. That way we've got 1 spare if something happens to the main ram. And again, this is a little container off to the side full of apples that we choose to feed these animals in this barn. It's my trader cart that I keep various things in, and another barrel. But this is just a little showcase of how we've built up since the beginning. You can see that mountain there is looks like a volcano because the well, actually it's not a volcano, but the GM put a bunch of fire signals at the top of it and just leaves them burning constantly, so that it looks like a volcano. I imagine you can see it from anywhere on the island because it is the highest point on the island in a central location. But at any rate, that concludes this video. I will have more at a later time. Ciao. It occurred to me that the last time I showed the interior of my little plaster shack, that all it had was a bed and a crate, I believe. So let's take a look inside now. You see now I've got a painting on the wall. Still got my bed and crate sitting here under the window. I've also got a weapons rack, which is where I store my weapons. For example, my bow and arrows when I'm not using them. I also have a wardrobe. Now, the wardrobe is where you can store clothes. For example, my leather armor, things like that. It's very handy, and a lot of people are not aware that it will fit inside, at least people I've spoken to, into the tiny shack. It has a capacity of 500 stone, whereas this crate here only will hold 150 stone. So you can see it's very useful for storage. But this is my home now. I do like that picture because at heart, I guess I'm a farmer, and of course that's a pastoral landscape. You can see the windmill there for grinding flour, and there are windmills in the game. That is a end item, end building that you can eventually build. So one day maybe we will own one. Ciao.